Happy Friday, YouTubers. It is 6:38 in the morning. We are headed to work. I've got to be there early today. I have to give a presentation this morning at 9. So I want to get there and kind of figure out everything that I got to do, what it entails. But it is early. It's a donut kind of morning. I've already did the calculations for how many calories. 528 calories for just 2 glazed donuts. No wonder I'm fat. But it's Friday. After work today, we should have plenty of time to go see the Saturn V. So that's the plan. We're going to go. It's in its own building on the Johnson Space Center property. But they do allow you to get in there until 5. I thought it was open 7 to 7, but I was told I was wrong by the internet. So that's the plan. We're going to go do that. And it is foggy outside. I don't know if you can see that, but it is foggy. And I did clean my windshield. Yay! Yay for clean windshields. Woohoo! So I'm going to put you down when I get on the major road. We'll just we'll make it to Shipley's Donuts safely, and then we'll make it to work safely, and then we'll have a good time at work today, and then we're gonna go see the Saturn V. Yay! And eat better, because I ate a Big Mac last night for dinner and I was like 300 calories over what I'm supposed to be. So we're gonna try not to do that anymore. And I gotta walk more. I gotta 5,000 steps, and I want to at least do 6,000 steps a day. So we gotta walk more. So we're gonna walk, and I will see you after work. All right, so it is now 7:29. I've had my 2 donuts. Very good. Shipley's makes a beautiful donut. And we're on our way to work. We're almost there, and as you can see, the fog really has started to clear off. We still have some, but it's much better than it was. I can actually see the cars in front of me now. So we've pretty much made it to work. Yay! So I will see you guys after work, and we'll go see that impressive Saturn V rocket. All right, so I've made it off of work. There's actually a tour in the Saturn V building right now, so we're gonna wait to go in there in just a moment. It's a level 9 tour. $89 is what it cost to go on that tour, but it's in that building right now. I don't know, you can't really see the people. It's a pretty cool tour. If you ever come here to Space Center Houston, you might want to try it out. It's actually very, very well worth the money, especially if you're a NASA fan. So we're actually going to start off outside, give them a chance to mill about and do what they're doing. There's actually several people in here, in this building. Oh, and there's another tour coming. Yay. But this next tour that's coming is actually people that paid to come to Space Center Houston. We actually didn't. It doesn't cost to come to Rocket Park. So we're just going to filter in and check it out, and I think we might be good to go into the building and check it out. I really enjoy the Saturn V, and hopefully you'll find it to be as impressive. And then when we come out, we will, well, you know what, we got a couple of seconds. We'll go ahead and look. That's the Mercury Redstone. Right there. That's the little Joe 2. Let's go ahead and head on inside to the Saturn V for the grand reveal. Alright, so ladies and gentlemen, here is the Saturn V. These right here are the F1 engines. There's 5 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That actually lifted this big bird, which you can see is huge. Lifted it off. This first section right here, the whole thing with fuel weighed 6.5 million pounds. This first stage right here actually burns 647 gallons of fuel per second. Not per minute, but per second. So that is a huge amount of fuel being dispersed. And we cry and complain about our gas mileage. So this whole first stage would just be enough to get them off the ground. This first stage then would separate from the second stage. This first stage would actually end up in the ocean, and it would not be recovered. It would not be retrieved at all. Of course, it's a big splash. So, I mean, that's a huge piece of metal right here. They would make a huge splash. It would probably damage it. And literally these stay in the ocean and turn into coral reefs off of the Florida coast. Now the second stage, the first stage of course burned 647 gallons per second of fuel. The second stage that we're coming up on, with 5 J2 engines, actually burns 400 gallons of fuel per second. So that's a lot of fuel as well. As you can tell, this is one huge rocket, 363 feet long, taller than the Statue of Liberty. So we know what the first and the second stage does. This third stage, you can see 5 metal round balls. Those are actually hydrogen tanks. Pretty cool. And that's one J1 rocket here on the back of this one, just one J1 rocket. So when that stage is jettisoned, this stage right here actually carries them into space, into deeper space at least. And then you have this stage right here, which is really the business end when you get to talking about it. Right here, you have the service module and the command module. Okay, the command module is right here. This is the service module. Now this right here, the escape system, would actually be jettisoned off. When they're ready to land on the moon, this right here would actually open up. The lunar lander would come down to the moon. They'd do everything they needed to, and the lunar lander actually was in 2 stages. So the first stage actually stayed on the moon, and the second stage would jettison them up to meet with the service module. The service module would still have an astronaut in it, waiting for docking. They would redock. They'd all join in the command module, and then that service module will actually either be jettisoned off into space, or it would be propelled into the moon, and they could actually use it for seismographic testing. But this right here, that part at the top, the copper looking part, is actually what came home to Earth. If you remember, in an earlier vlog we went and saw the command module from Apollo 17. So there it is. It's one big bird. 6.5 million pounds with fuel in it. It's beautiful. It's one of my favorite things here at Space Center Houston. Can't really ever get the gravity of how big it is. It's just not possible. It's just not possible. And when you think that literally about 10 megs of computer is all they had for this. So literally 6 pictures on your cell phone. That's it. That's what get this into space, to the moon, and brought them home. Of course, in '72, when Gene Cernan was on the moon, I believe it was Walter Cronkite, who was the news anchor, said, "Here we are, Apollo 17 landing on the moon, and no one is watching." During that time, the Vietnam War was going on, hot and heavy, and people had lost interest in the Apollo program. So really, that was the end of the Apollo program. This is Apollo 18. All this is Apollo 18. Of course, it never went into space. If it would have went into space, it wouldn't be here, because only the command module would be here. Everything else would be either burnt up, still in space, on the moon, or in the ocean. So it's pretty amazing to look at. I love it. It's one of my favorite things here at Space Center Houston, and pretty much just, well, in Houston overall. Pretty amazing. Alright, so we are headed out now. We have seen the Saturn V. I think we're just going to do the Little Joe and Mercury Redstone later, because it's starting to get late and I want to go eat. I'm starving. But before we do go, I want to show you something at Space Center Houston that we haven't seen yet. This is actually going to be Independence Plaza. This is a high fidelity mock-up of the space shuttle, as well as, oh, it's starting to rain, as well as the 747 that actually carried the space shuttles. If you see pictures of a space shuttle piggybacked onto a 747, this is the actual one that carried. The last one that's carried was Endeavour, which was the last space shuttle that needed to go somewhere, and it went to LA. And we have them here, both in Houston. So that is the space shuttle. It used to be the Explorer, which is a high fidelity mock-up that used to be in Florida, but now it's here, and we've renamed it Independence. There was a contest to see who got to name it, and Independence was chosen. And you can barely see the 747, but we actually have passes to come here on the 18th and see it before it opens on the 23rd. So I'm super stoked about that. But it is starting to rain, and we are going to go inside. I don't know if you can see the clouds. Well, maybe if I zoomed the right way. But there is definitely a storm on the horizon. And it's pretty much all right there. Oh, and there. Oh, and there. All right, so let's get out of here and let's go eat. All right, I'm just going to try to keep it pointed. Whoo, there you go. Just gonna keep it pointed this way, and maybe you guys will see some more of the incredible light show that I'm seeing on my way home. I'm kind of stuck in traffic right now, so it kind of stinks, but it is what it is. It's Friday, and it is 5:41. So just a little bit of lightning there, but we've had some pretty big ones, and then followed by some pretty big thunder boomers. So storm's supposed to come in tonight, and then it's supposed to be cold again the rest of the weekend. But tomorrow is Texans football. Woo, woo, woo! I'll be at work. So I'm at work 9 to 5 tomorrow. Game starts at 3:25. So by the time I get off, it'll pretty much be over. But I'm going to make sure that somebody tapes it. And I am not going to listen to anything during the day because, well, I want to watch it and see what happens. Of course, I say that. What's probably going to happen is I'm going to watch my phone pretty much all day long to see the score. But, you know, maybe I can get off early. Maybe my last tour's at like, 3 or something, or 2. Oh, there you go. Okay, so I said my last tour. If you haven't guessed yet, if nobody's won, what is my job? What is my job? If no one's won yet, what is my job? And no one has won yet that I know of. So please, tell me what I do for a living. Alright YouTubers, I hope you enjoyed seeing the Saturn V as much as I did showing it to you. It's 10:21, I still have to edit the video, I'm tired, I've got to go to work tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock, which means I got to leave about 7:30. So as Donald Moffat, who portrayed Lyndon B. Johnson, said in the movie The Right Stuff, whoever controls the high ground of space controls the world. I'll see you tomorrow.